What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Tuesday. We can see by the charts here, obviously, Bitcoin has been going on quite a run. XRP also battling 30 cents right now, which is huge. I wanted to clarify a little bit about my quant statement yesterday. And I wanted to go over a couple of additional things here. We've got a billionaire hedge fund manager essentially saying that Bitcoin's going to be outlawed and cryptocurrencies aren't going to succeed, which is nonsense. I wanted to go over that. Yeah, there's a couple of different things in here. We've got Hedera in Syria as well, which is big. All right, so first and foremost, Bitcoin's at 17,474 right now, 17,502 actually. And you know, if you step back and look at this, I mean, look at this. we've essentially went from, you know, $10,661 straight up to, you know, 17.5 almost. So, you know, there's extreme greed right now, which is fantastic, but just a word of caution, you know, these things do tend to correct a little bit. I am just so more so worried about, you know, I don't want to see, and I don't think it's going to happen, but if we've packed our bags and we're ready to really go, and we don't want to accumulate more, and anybody really wants this parabolic run that happened, that's fine. I would rather see continued growth. Obviously, there's bull and bear markets. But, you know, I think we need a healthy little consolidation here before all-time high is attacked. I could be completely wrong. I don't hold Bitcoin, but I know whenever Bitcoin consolidates, maintains support, then alts tend to run. So that is what I am looking for. We can see XRP sitting at 29.8 cents, 29.9 cents. And 29.30 cents is obviously a huge area for XRP as well. I wanted to clarify a little bit on the Quant video that I did yesterday. You know, Quant right now is down 8%. And I wasn't stating don't buy Quant. I'm stating that whenever you see a rise like this occur, it generally corrects, and I would rather buy more of something while it's in the red than buy into a 15 or a 20% pump. That's just my opinion. You do what you want. Now, I will say for something like XRP, something like Quant, if you really truly believe in the utility, and this is not investment advice, I don't really think it matters unless you're buying into like an insanely high parabolic rise in value. For example, with XRP, I was just consistently buying. I didn't even look at the price because XRP is a digital asset that I plan on holding for years. You know, at a minimum, like even if, let's say I bought XRP at 20 cents and it went to $3, I would still and that was like within a year, I would still be hesitant to sell within that year because I would not want to incur capital gains taxes in the United States. So again, to clarify, I very much so support Quant, not investment advice, but I also hold Quant. All I was simply stating yesterday, and if we look at the price yesterday, where are we at here? $17.33, right? Right about when I put that video out, saying I warn you to buy it nearing all-time or at all-time highs. And now we're back down to $15.84. You can do the math on how much more Quant you could have bought and even just waiting a day. But, you know, that's up to you. All right, now, I wanted to get into this. Billionaire boss of world's largest hedge fund warns Bitcoin will be, quote-unquote, outlawed. This is from Ray Dalio, billionaire founder and co-chairman of the world's biggest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, has warned that governments will outlaw Bitcoin if it continues to grow and starts to become material. Number one, I don't know how that's possible. Maybe from the green initiative that's going on right now, I feel like maybe that is going to be more relevant than governments outlawing Bitcoin. I very much so believe Bitcoin will go up in value in the short to medium term, maybe even the long term. I could be completely wrong, but I don't necessarily know if governments, quote unquote, outlaw Bitcoin. This guy obviously has a lot of money. He's built it up through the legacy system here. There's a reason that he's sprouting this rhetoric. And we'll see another example of that here in this presentation. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, saying that he was going to fire anybody that bought Bitcoin in 2017. If you were around during that time frame, you probably remember that. Meanwhile, the dude was legitimately like investing in mining Bitcoin, and was essentially building up their own digital asset, and now talking about a crypto custody platform. I believe it's in tandem with Fidelity. So you cannot listen to what these big players in the legacy market say whatsoever. What you need to do is do your own research and find out what these organizations are building upon. Because I can guarantee you, all of these hedge funds are going to recommend holding a portion of crypto in your portfolio at some point in the very, very near future. We're already seeing it to an extent. So this guy is a moron for saying this. And there's probably some sort of reason for him saying this. And that's all that I'm going to say about that. But he's talking about he doesn't think digital currencies will succeed in the way people hope they would. Well, you know, we overestimate a technology in the short term, and we underestimate its impact in the long term. And I think we're at the point now where we're really starting to see some utility and some use cases come out of digital assets. But I do not believe that those are what is causing the valuations of digital assets right now. I very much so still believe that it is purely speculative. Now, we do see partnerships and things like that, but do you really consider a partnership utility, or do you consider that still speculation? That's an interesting topic to discuss. But, you know, he's talking about volatility of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies being a hindrance to the utility and to the, you know, them gaining mass adoption. Well, you know, this is a new asset class. There's going to be volatility. We're at like $500 billion for the market cap of all of the cryptocurrency in the world. Which is nothing when you take into account all of these the legacy asset classes, and you include derivatives, you get up into over $1 quadrillion. So my thought process very much so is once utility kicks in, we are going to see valuations that represent that utility. Obviously, also speculative valuations as well, because speculation is never going to die. But volatility is going to die down in some of the more well-developed digital assets that do have utility. So this guy's argument is going to go out the window very quickly. Now he's talking about PayPal here. Bitcoin fell to right below 4,000 earlier this year in valuation, and then surged to 17.5 as of today. Theoretically, Bitcoin is good, blah, blah, blah. But the three basic things are that a currency has to be are an effective medium of exchange, store hold of wealth, and the governments want to control it. Dalio, who expects fiat currencies, including the US dollar, the euro, and China's renminbi, to become increasingly digitized. Now, he is correct. The dollar, you know, China's currency, the euro, you know, in the UK, across the board, every one of these nations is going to have their own fiat-based digital currency. But what he neglects to tell you, and what we all know in this space, is that a digital dollar, while it may increase utility to the extent of speed, etc., certain things like that, and maybe ease out some of the red tape that some of these small and medium enterprises have to deal with, as far as like potentially even the Swift network, stuff like that. This is going to be a huge issue, because they're still going to, you think there's going to be a cap on how many digital dollars are printed? I mean, it's going to be, what's a digital, I'm just so curious to see if it's like available, because we know like was like 27, 28 trillion dollars in debt. I would love to see like that reflected in the digital dollars, like coin stats, or like the market cap of the digital dollar, which is never going to happen, obviously. But digital dollar does not solve anything from a legacy standpoint. There needs to be bridge mechanisms between these. You cannot stop the turning of the tide whenever it comes to technological innovation. Digital assets, DeFi, all this stuff. I know there was a DeFi bubble this year, or whatever they call it, but all of this stuff is overwhelming the legacy industry. I believe what's going to occur is you're going to see legacy institutions, you're already seeing it, build in parallel their DLT solutions to AKA future-proof and or utilize distributed ledger technology and digital assets, which we are seeing right now. So this guy's argument is nonsense. You know, anytime somebody says something like this, he's either scared of what he knows is coming, or he has some sort of a motive to present some sort of an agenda to whoever's going to read this article, so that they don't potentially do their own research and potentially make life-altering moves for themselves. Now we can see here, Ripple posted today as well. examining the regulatory outlook for digital assets. This is right on Ripple's website. This is part of their Swell panel agenda. You can actually go to Ripple's Swell website as well and sign up still, and you can watch all of these presentations in full. So I will let you read through this one. I mean, I want to see clarity. You know, it's great that Ripple's posting this, but this is almost just a rehash of what they had done at Swell. So, all right, last but not least, I wanted to go over this, and I think this is big. You guys know that I like Hedera Hashgraph. I've read a lot of different things about the tokenomics of Hedera Hashgraph, and I agree they're not ideal. But, you know, Hedera Hashgraph is more of a long-term hold for me. I'm not affiliated with Hedera in any way. I did an interview with their chief marketing officer, Christian Hasker, probably 2 months ago. Very transparent. And, you know, I'm a supporter of this network. It's a long-term hold for me. This is more of like an XRP type hold for me. I buy into this when I can afford to. I very much am aware that it could go to zero, and I don't invest anything that I'm more than willing to lose completely. But I support this network and I believe in it. I think that their partnerships speak for themselves. Hedera Hashgraph to be used for crowdsourced airstrike warning app in Syria. This is Hala Systems. Now, what's interesting is that Hala had initially utilized Ethereum, but I believe, I don't know if it was in this Cointelegraph portion or not, but I did see it in another article as well. Up until now, Sentry has used the Ethereum blockchain to provide a distributed and secure means of verifying and storing the metadata attached to the various data inputs, blah, blah, blah. But I think they talk about network fees and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Ethereum in favor of the Hedera consensus service, having found the former to be insufficiently tamper-proof. They explained, Hala Systems found Ethereum's probabilistic, not definitive consensus smart contracts with highly variable fees and slow confirmation times unsuitable for their use case. Now, you guys may know that I am an Ethereum supporter as well. I've seen them in multiple documents. They're tied into almost everything at this point from a smart contract standpoint, let alone all of the projects that are built upon the Ethereum network. Now, some of those projects do move on to their own blockchains later on down the road, but a lot of them launch on Ethereum. There's just tons of projects on Ethereum. I would probably say 75 or 80% of the projects that I see are on Ethereum, if not more. So I don't think Ethereum is going anywhere, but I do think if they don't update to Ethereum 2.0, and we know that we've been hearing about that forever, it may be an issue because we're seeing, we see some news stating that, companies are going to move away from that model if they do not update and if they do not address some of these issues that they potentially have. Now, this is the full document here. This is seeking justice with tamper-proof evidence on Hedera Hashgraph. And just so you're aware, Hala Systems has some major partners. Consensus, which is a giant Foreign and Commonwealth Office. I think this is a UK. Yeah. Global Affairs Canada. Where is this at here? This is New Zealand. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark. Now we've got the United Nations here. We've got the USAID. So, and Hashgraph. So, I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself as well. Now, last but not least, the head of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, if you're not aware who that is, he essentially is the overseer and the regulator of all of the banks in the United States, federally operated institutions and banks. Brian Brooks, and he came over from Coinbase, I think it was in May of this year, says payments charter is ready and more crypto banks are coming soon. I think as of right now, we have two. Kraken is the first one, and the second one is going to escape me right now. But before the announcement, or maybe Anchorage is another one now. Before the announcement regarding Anchorage this morning, this is an interview with Brian Brooks, serving as comptroller of the currency. Shared as of last night, 2 breaking news items. The OCC's payment charter now available for applicants as promised by Brian Brooks. The comptroller has indicated a national trust charter is a pathway for crypto banks. That along with the Anchorage announcement today. So I'm assuming that they are now a bank. Custodian Anchorage. Okay, seeks charter from crypto-friendly US. So they're seeking this charter. So I'm curious to see where that goes as well. Now, if you are not aware, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency very much so had tried to put across this special purpose fintech charter. Like, this is before Brian Brooks even took head of the office there. And this was for like 3 years and it got shot down. But Brian Brooks is obviously pushing stuff through a little bit quicker, making things happen. But again, I would really like to see regulatory clarity in the United States. It's great that Ripple is continuing to post these things, but we know that they're considering potentially moving as well. Also, I found an R3 document today. I think Crypto Eddie is actually going to look through it. So if there's anything interesting, I'm sure maybe she will share that. I obviously do not speak Japanese, unfortunately. So, all right, if there is news tomorrow, I will surely present it. Again, stay safe out there. I hope you guys all had a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world, and have a good one. Later.